Slade and Diana finished breakfast on a cloudy Saturday morning. He had brought a small table with 2 chairs from his house they set out on her balcony. Diana had fixed egg white omelets with veggies. They turned their chairs to face the freeway after she filled their cups with the last of the coffee. He took a sip. She didn't ask him what his plans were for the day. His answer would be a dirty look. He asked her, though. She'd like to get snippy and tell him that was none of his business. She tamped down the irritation that rose up inside her. Laundry, cleaning, grocery shopping. He nodded. She was positive she saw his lips twitch in the tiniest of grins. He knew he had irritated her. "I'm going home to do the same." He stretched out his long legs. "I think Diego and I are riding out to Wickenburg." "I can't wait to see the property." Diana smiled at him. Slade nodded. "I want to take you alone so we can make decorating decisions. I love what you've done with your apartment." He rarely teased her. The fact he had surprised her so much she spewed the coffee from her mouth. He grinned behind the rim of his coffee cup. She hadn't hung anything on the walls. There were no fancy throw rugs or pillows. She didn't have a sofa or armchair other than the recliner. "You are so funny," she said, her tone sarcastic as she wiped coffee off her t-shirt. He chuckled. "We need to talk about moving you home with me. I know you have a contract with this apartment. I don't want you to lose a bunch of money." He turned to look at her. "But eventually, honey, we need to live in the same place." Diana didn't know how to feel about it. She had appreciated the space they had as she got used to being back and being with him. She really didn't have a reason not to live with him. They had picked up their marriage. It was going much better than Diana had hoped. They had both mellowed out. She respected the boundaries his position as gang leader demanded. In return, he had shown her a lot of consideration for the times when she wanted or needed to sit with him and talk. "I agree," she heard herself say. "Is your internet good out there by now?" "It is." His eyes followed motorcycles on the freeway. Something about the way he watched them made the hair on the back of her neck stand up. She couldn't put a name to the feeling. "My contract has a buyout clause." "Mind if I see it?" he asked. "I'll get it." She walked in. She found it in a kitchen drawer. She had nothing else to put in there. As she handed it to him, he pointed. "You need to change your t-shirt." He grinned. Her only comment was to sigh, turn around, and head in to do as ordered. Slade wasn't complicated, she thought, as she pulled her t-shirt up over her head. Do what he said. Everything would go swell. Noon came and went. Her laundry was done, she had both bathrooms spotless, and was working on her kitchen when he walked in. "Want to ride to Wickenburg with Diego and me?" he asked. "Yes." He nodded, his mood dark. "With me." His voice told her there would be no argument. She would ride on his motorcycle, not drive hers. "Yes, sir," she replied. That earned her a soft kiss. Diego pulled up as they exited the garage. "Hola." She smiled at him. He nodded. Once out of town, Slade and Diego opened the throttles. They went around vehicles like they stood still. She wondered what the hurry was. She also wondered why on earth Slade bothered taking her if he was in such a bad mood. They slowed down a few miles from Wickenburg. She saw the gravel road with the realtor sign at the start of it. Diego got off, opened a gate, then waited till Slade and Diana were through before he closed it. He followed them to the shed where it was Slade who got off, opened that door, then drove in. They got off the motorcycles. Slade and Diego were quiet. Diana looked around. The shed was large. All it had was 4 walls and a roof with a cement floor. There were no rooms, lights, no air conditioning or heating. The shed doors weren't the ones that rolled up, but slid apart to the sides. There were also no windows and no small door for foot traffic. The only way in was through the big doors. Quiero empezar por aquí, Diego spoke. Sí, Slade nodded. Diana was curious why Diego wanted to start with the shed. It wasn't a question she'd ask. Diana entiende español, Slade warned Diego. Diana understood Spanish. Sí, Diego nodded. Yo lo enseñé. ¿Cuándo? Slade growled. A ghost of a smile crossed Diego's face. Cuando mi brazo estaba roto, Diana replied, telling Slade Diego had taught her Spanish when her arm was broken. Ah, Slade nodded as they grinned at him. What else did you do? He switched to English. Nada, Diego growled. Ella es tu mujer. He held up both hands. Slade and Diego fist bumped. Diana, you are welcome to go look through the house. Slade handed her a key with a naughty grin. She decided not to dignify that with a response. She was lucky to get the coffee stains out of that t-shirt from earlier that morning. The house was a big 2-story house. There was no lean-to built on the back like so many of the houses had. Instead, she walked directly into the big kitchen. The appliances were 30 years old. A wooden staircase up to the 2nd floor was in one of the back corners. There were 3 big bedrooms with a bathroom, all in serious need of repair. Carpets were almost threadbare. The bathroom fixtures were thick with grime and rust. She could feel the quality of the floors and walls, though. It wasn't how they built houses anymore, she thought sadly, as she walked back down the stairs. Besides the kitchen, there was a big dining room, with the living room at the front. A small hall along the west side of the house, off the living room, had 1 more bedroom with a bath. She started to picture the way they'd fix it up. She imagined seating areas like a coffee shop in the front room, conversational areas, maybe a fireplace along with a big screen TV. She'd put the bar with some tables and chairs in the dining room, and of course, the kitchen would be remodeled to handle the kind of food the gang ate. Through the doorway from the living room into the hall, she'd put 2 half baths in there. The big bedroom could easily be for pool tables. Slade and Diego walked in. She told them what she pictured. They liked it. What would you put upstairs? Slade asked her. If you guys ever wanted to do some live security work, those big rooms up there would be perfect. Diego and Slade stared at her. Structure is solid. You could hang monitors from the ceiling. Put in cubicles. It'd be awesome. Ella es inteligente, Diego murmured. Gracias. She smiled as Slade put his arms around her. I think you're intelligent as well, baby girl. He kissed the top of her head. We'll start getting cable, internet, and TV hooked up, Slade decided as Diego took notes. I'm going to spend time working on the bathrooms and kitchen while you get that door secured on the shed and hang insulation. He told Diego, who nodded. Some of those younger guys who are newer members of our gang need to be put to work to earn their keep. Call on who you need. Just leave Cole and Hank out of it." Slade's black mood returned. Diana knew she had been sent to explore the house while the two men discussed Cole and Hank. It was obvious from their moods it hadn't gone well. She remembered the incident at the movie set and told them. They listened carefully. This time it wasn't Slade who spoke, but Diego. "Gracias, chica." She nodded at his answer. "Thanks, girl."